Welcome to Simple Stories, Smart Kids, where giggles meet magic and every story is a fun-tastic ride. Hi there, little story lovers. Today's tale is about a brave princess, 11 birdie brothers, and a lot of itchy leaves. Get ready for some swan-tastic silliness in The Wild Swans. Now grab your snack and let's fly right in. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the trees wore crowns of their own and even squirrels gossiped about royal secrets, there lived a kind old king. Well, old enough that his beard could tickle his toes if he wasn't careful. He had 11 sons and one daughter, Elisa. You might think he named his boys things like Jack or Billy, but no. They had princely names so long that sneezing while saying them would make you forget your own address. Now, the king was a decent fellow, but he made a classic royal mistake. He remarried. His new queen was as beautiful as a sunset, but had a heart about as warm as a bucket of ice cubes. Stepmothers in fairy tales often have hobbies like knitting, baking, or turning entire families miserable. And this queen was all in on that last one. From the start, she frowned upon the children, but she had a special glare reserved just for Elisa. To her brothers, she served pancakes made of cardboard and told them that smiling was strictly forbidden. But for Elisa, oh, she used her most magical weapon, jealousy, mixed with a sprinkle of wicked spells. Soon, Elisa's brothers were banished from the castle, their laughter fading into the woods. The stepmother, never satisfied, decided to up the evil ante. One day, as the boys returned from a forbidden soccer match in the forest, she waved her wand and, bam! Feathery drama. 11 white swans flapped where the princes had been. The queen twirled her mustache, metaphorically. She was too vain for facial hair, and cackled because, let's face it, nothing says evil queen like involuntary avian transformations. Meanwhile, Elisa's luck wasn't much better. She was exiled to a peasant cottage with instructions to chop vegetables and never, ever ask for more salt. But Elisa was no ordinary princess. She made friends with chipmunks, invented new ways to make porridge taste like pizza, and stubbornly hoped for a better tomorrow. One night, as she dozed, a fairy appeared. Not the delicate, tutu-wearing type, mind you, but one with wild hair, mismatched socks, and an attitude to match. The fairy whispered hints about her brothers, mysterious curses, and a quest that needed completing. Elisa wasted no time. Packing her best cheese sandwich, she set off in pursuit of her brothers. The woods were full of obstacles, creaky trees, dramatic toads, and one owl who thought he was auditioning for a Shakespeare play. But Elisa kept going. At last, she spotted 11 swans gliding over a lake, their necks so long they looked like furry pool noodles. Now, here's where the magic gets tricky. When the sun set, the swans transformed back into her brothers, all rumpled and slightly dizzy from too much flapping. They told Elisa their tale. The queen turned us into swans. Well, except for Tuesdays, when we auditioned for Swan Lake. They hugged, laughed, and maybe cried a little, but Elisa knew what she had to do. The fairy had explained it all. She must knit 11 shirts from the sharp, stinky nettles that grew in dark graveyards. Worse, she could not speak a word until she finished, not even to ask directions to the local yarn shop. Now, you've got to admire dedication. Elisa sneaked into graveyards, stuffing baskets with prickly nettles, which stung her hands till they looked like they'd lost an epic thumb war. She knitted day and night. Her lips zipped tighter than a drum. People found her strange, but she just smiled. Well, with her eyes, since smiling with her mouth might involve talking. Days turned to weeks. Elisa's fingers were sore, her pile of scratchy shirts growing higher. Still, trouble found her. One day, a young king from a nearby land spotted her in the woods, surrounded by shirts that could double as sandpaper. Being a king, and therefore suspicious of odd laundry habits, he assumed she must be mysterious. And nothing says date me like mysterious. He brought her to his castle and asked if she'd like to chat over tea, or at least explain her gardening obsession. But silence, not a peep. The king was puzzled, but married her anyway. That's fairy tale logic for you. Now, a silent queen, plus an ever-growing pile of grassy shirts, tends to make royal courtiers curious and suspicious. Whispers started. Perhaps Elisa was not a princess, but a witch. By the time her pile was nearly finished, Angry townsfolk waved pitchforks and demanded answers. But poor Eliza, steadfast and mute, could only keep knitting. Her moment of truth arrived when the furious people were all set to, well, give her that very unfortunate fairy tale send-off. But just then, as the fire was being lit, talk about dramatic timing, her brothers, the swans, swooped down from the skies with a flourish that would shame any air show. Eliza, with trembling hands, threw the nettle shirts over their feathery backs. 11 princes immediately stood, dazed but grateful, except the youngest, whose left sleeve was missing, leaving him with one wing and the rest fully human. Hugging her brothers, Eliza finally spoke, breaking her vow of silence. "I missed you guys, but next family meeting? No swan costumes, okay?" The angry townsfolk gawked. The king hugged Eliza, and the evil queen, somewhere far away, probably received a severe letter from the Ministry of Bad Behavior. The princes stayed, regaling young and old with the adventures of being a swan. The youngest, sporting his one wing, became the local champion at one-arm swimming contests and inspired the fashion trend of asymmetrical sleeves. And Eliza? She ruled the kingdom with wisdom, fairness, and a secret recipe for nettle soup that was a hit at every royal banquet. As for the stepmother, let's just say her new castle had a serious pigeon problem. So remember, dear listeners, no matter how tough life's curses get, whether you're knitting nettle shirts or just dealing with annoying siblings, kindness, hope, and a dash of humor will always help you find your way through. And maybe, if you're lucky, a talking owl or two might offer you some applause. The story of the Wild Swans teaches children about the power of love, patience, and bravery. Princess Elisa goes through many challenges, including staying silent for years and working with painful nettles just to save her brothers. Her actions show that when we care deeply about others, we're willing to make sacrifices to help them. The tale also reminds us that kindness and staying true to what's right will lead to a happy ending, even when things seem unfair or difficult. With a little courage, love, and determination, even the biggest problems, like turning into a swan, can be solved. Wasn't that a swanderful story? If you had fun flying through this fairy tale, give us a big thumbs up. Like this video if you love magical stories with a twist. Subscribe to Simple Stories, smart kids for more giggles, magic, and happy endings every day. And don't forget to ring that bell so you never miss a storytime surprise. See you next time, my little adventurers. And remember, magic lives in stories, and stories live here. Bye-bye, stay smart, stay kind, and stay giggly.